the Workforce Connections podcast, where we discuss workforce development in Southern Nevada. Here's your host.
Hi, and welcome to today's WC podcast. Today we have our friend Derek Parent from Movement Mortgage. Welcome, Derek.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So we're excited you're here because our listeners will find out today that you had a podcast you hosted with your teammates at Movement Mortgage, a podcast that was called Living Large Las Vegas. And one day, a year ago, I didn't know what a podcast was. And so one of our board members, Jack Martin, said, hey, you know, people are really into podcasts. We got to have our own podcast. And so I said, you know, just like TikTok, I still don't know what TikTok is. So that's the next step. But he said, you know, do some research. So here I am finding, is anybody doing podcasts in Las Vegas? And I come across you and get inspired. And, you know, here we are a year later, I think past our 50th episode. Have talked to a lot of cool people to, you know, highlight what's going on in our community. I know that was the message in your podcast. So how does it feel to be the inspiration for this?
Well, it's quite it's an honor, and it was breathtaking. You know, it was really nice to know that we helped influence something great for the community. You know, this community has given me back so much. So, like, to see you guys doing this, especially here at Workforce Connection, is amazing.
And Derek, let's get to know you a little more because for our listeners, I got to spend some time with you in D.C. last week, and but we know a lot of the same people as we've gotten to know each other. We have the same friends, and so you've told me your story. Tell me a little bit about how you got here to Las Vegas. I know you come from far away, and then how did you get this business to where it is today? How did you start it? How did you get here?
Yeah, thanks. So, wow. So I won a trip. I used to work for a company called Conseco Finance back east, and I won a trip to Las Vegas. But come here and go to the hotel, have a great time, get ready to leave, get into the cab. Cab driver says, where you going? We're like, Boston. He's like, no, you're not. And I didn't realize why he was saying that was because there was a blizzard back east, so we couldn't fly in. So I ended up staying in Las Vegas for a few more days. But I went to go visit the company on West Sahara, and there was just one manager, one underwriter, and I said, can I come back and work here? They said yes. So I literally flew back to Providence, Rhode Island. I packed my bags, and 28 days later, I ended up in Las Vegas. And I've been in the mortgage industry for now right around 25 years, you know, but the opportunity I saw in Las Vegas in 2000, you know, I was so lucky that we had a blizzard. At the time, I didn't think the blizzard was luck, right? I just thought I just wanted to go home at that point. But the opportunity of moving here and the stuff that we've created in this town has been unbelievable. So I would say that was probably the best layover I've ever had in my life. Yeah,
it's a really cool story. I loved it because sometimes the best things in life are not planned, right? It just happened like you explained it without a plan. And when we're grateful, I think that you're here in our community, as we'll find out later. You've already doing things that you probably didn't imagine. During our research to prepare for this interview, we found out that in other places, Movement Mortgage has opened some public charter schools.
Yes.
And they seem to be really impactful in the communities that they operate in. And again, to us, that was very unique that a mortgage company, you know, would do stuff like that. So do you tell us a little bit about that, what's happening in Charlotte, but also do you ever foresee that being duplicated, you know, on this side of the country here in Las Vegas?
Yeah, you know, Casey Crawford, the owner and CEO, he's been, you know, he used to play, you know, for football in the NFL, and he's really passionate about giving back, you know, as to all of us. You know, that's his backyard, and that's where he started it. You know, I don't know if movement schools are going to be, you know, come out this way. I just know that as a company that we're always giving back and doing something special in the community. I know in Las Vegas, we're very fortunate enough to always be giving back and joining great organizations and partnering up with great people just like yourself. It's encouraged in our company. You know, the company has great culture as far as communication, connection, daily huddles, you know, what's going on. And I think that carries through the whole country with movement.
Yeah, I really like the culture of your company because I've met, again, some of your team members, and I know that you are on the same building, the same floor as the LVGA over there by the airport. But one of the cool things that you have going on, and I found more about it during our trip, but I remember, again, reading about it and being told about it. But during the pandemic, you started a new venture called Movement Fitness. Yeah. And it's not your regular gym. It's bigger than that. You call it a health club, I believe.
Yeah, it's 25,000 square feet. So I opened I opened Movement Fitness during the pandemic, and I just love the word movement. You know, I believe that that's the key to life is keep moving. And so throughout the pandemic, what we started was through mental and physical health. There was a lot of people being laid off. There was a lot of people furloughed. So we had free memberships for the longest time to help people get back to, you know, just to keep their mental saneness. And the news came out, did a little bit of stuff on that. But we truly opened up Movement for a give back. You know, for many of years, I've been raising money, donating money to causes, and great causes. Always been great causes. Always loved giving back. But to me, the gym now is my biggest give back. You know, we're going to talk about this, but we have a job readiness program that we partnered up with Help Us Southern Nevada, Shannon West. We have a great, cancer program, but it's a fitness program. We can never cure cancer, but what we can do is we can help people with the aftercare. There truly is no aftercare for cancer, so we created a 12-week program. It's absolutely free. For me, the give back that I get to give back is to see the change that we're making in people's lives. You know, we have a lot of seniors that come through the gym. The gym is comprised mainly of like people, the average age is 38 years and older. It's a safe place. You know, we're all about the 10 elements of dignity, you know, fairness, safety, you know, independence, you know, inclusion, you know, acceptance. That's really my vision for the gym, was to create a community, right? A community of people that care and respect one another, but want to get healthy doing it.
Yeah, and we're going to put down here on the screen for our viewers, but for our listeners, how do they find out about the gym? Is there a website that they can go on and find out more? Yeah,
the website is movementfitnesslv.com, and we're on 3075 East Flamingo.
Perfect. We're going to put that on the screen. And so let's dive into, you mentioned that one of the things I think that made us commonalities between us and why people kept telling me, you know, you have to meet this Derek guy, and then you told me, yeah, people kept telling me I got to meet you, is that you are a very genuine person. You do care about people, and that you're showing it with your actions and your businesses and your ventures. And so one of the things that I liked when I met you was that you told me about the partnership with Help Us Southern Nevada, who's one of our WIOA Title I youth service providers. What that means is that we provide them federal funds to help at-risk youth, opportunity youth, we like to call them, or at-promise youth, overcome the barriers they face. Because again, let's face it, unfortunately, not everybody has mentorship in their life. Not everybody has two parents that work and support them. And so I think it's great that you partner with them to be able to provide one of the elements in our programs, which is work experience. A lot of times before they come and get their very first official job, they need a place where they can understand what it's like to show up on time and be accountable and look people in the eye and have a firm handshake and mean what they say and do what they promise. And so you provide them those work experiences at Movement Fitness. So I would like to hear what role, what kind of functions or jobs do those youth perform in your health club, and why is it important to give them those opportunities?
Yeah, I was very fortunate to know the director, Fuala, from Help Us Southern Nevada. So when I went to go see her, I said I wanted to do something with her, and they had this job readiness program. It's important to me because a lot of these kids or young adults that come in, you know, the first thing I notice is none of them make eye contact. So my very first thing that I love to do is called facility. So they're putting, you know, weights away, walking around the facility, being seen. So we have other members in the gym, in the facility, that also will approach them. So I've asked several members, when you see someone new who has a movement shirt, who's one of the kids, can you go up to them and just say hi, to break the ice with them, right? So we have a lot of the people that aren't even employees that are wanting to be mentors and wanting to say hi and make the initial engagement. So they'll come in and, again, I need them to introduce or say hi to at least 3 people per day, right? I want them to be seen. And the problem that I'm seeing is they hide, right? They hide within, whether if they're 17 or if they're 24, right? We just really care about the youth and what they're doing. Then the second phase of the program would be front desk. So again, now they have to engage more people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, getting used to the mannerisms, right? And then we have our juice bar. So learning how to, we don't make food there, we just have like protein drinks and smoothies. But it's cash register, learning the cash register skills, taking money, giving money, using credit card, giving credit cards. And then then they have membership. So after they're done with their shift, they get to work out before or after. So it's been an honor. And when I found out that you were funding the program, I was in such gratitude because it allows us to make an impact in everyone's life. It makes an impact in our members' life because we have a lot of members that came up to me and said, wow, we really love what you're doing for these kids, or we really love how you do different programming. And it goes to show that through physical health, we can help with mental and physical health. So it's just been amazing just to know that we have guys, we have you and Fluala that really care about this community that allows me to work with all these youth.
Yeah, and we're grateful again to have businesses like yours that does that, because we do need, if we want to improve our community. And again, one of the problems that employers face today is the lack of workforce. Yeah. And so there is no, at least that I know of, this big segment of highly skilled, highly qualified workers that are ready to go. Everybody's working, and so we really have to, I think, together, hand in hand, work to move those that are disconnected, if you will, or are not ready for work into that ready for work status. And so you're doing that with your actions, and we're appreciated to have you as a partner. I feel like we went right into Movement Fitness, which is very cool and exciting. But I want to, for a second, go back to Movement Mortgage. And again, we want to put here on the screen, and for our listeners, tell us, how does somebody get in touch with Movement Mortgage? Is there a separate website or a number for that? Yeah,
so the website is just derekparent.com. My number is 702-354-1400. It's my cell phone, so feel free to call me. Movement, like I said, I've been lending for 25 years. The lending side has created me the opportunity to open the gym and to go into other ventures. The mortgage business has been really good to me, my family, for 25 years, and for myself and my family and for all our team members to give back. That's just really what we want to do. But that just speaks into what we do at Movement. I don't touch too much on the stuff that funds it, but it's just an opportunity that we have to work with more and more people that are really kind and generous and allows us to do what we do in the community.
And, again, Movement Mortgage, we've talked about Movement Fitness, we talked even about hopefully the possibility one day of seeing Movement Charter Schools here. Yeah. We've talked about the podcast. You have an appetite to always do new things, and you said give back. Is there something brewing that we don't know about? What's next for Derek Parent when it comes to his ventures?
Well, we have a nonprofit too. It's called Movement Gives Foundation, and we've worked with. We're trying to open up a somewhat of a school, right? So more of like some of the at-risk kids that don't have the opportunity. We have we have the curriculum that we worked with Carrie Buck, and she put us in contact with a few educators. So we are working on that. We have the movement sports, which is, we have the a Nevada 7-on-7 passing league. We do that with the assistance of the Southern Football Coaches Association. Coach Morocco from Liberty has been great to us. I get to go to pretty much every high school game on Friday nights to watch some of the youth that does come into the gym. So it's just been fun. We're really creating programs that will help, long term. And hopefully, once the school starts going, we get to make more of an impact in additional youth lives. So it's a process, as you know, everything's a process, and, getting your first, student is always the most difficult one.
Yeah. I'm amazed at how many things you are involved with. I don't know when you get sleep, but we're blessed to have you here, and that's why we wanted to talk to you and highlight so others get to meet you again. We met because we had running in the same circles. We knew the same people, and we finally connected in person after I had seen you again on the screen with the podcast, and you inspired us. But I know again last week we were both at the DC Fly-In. Now they're the Vegas Chamber and the LVGA, the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance. I believe they're in their either fourth year or so of doing it together. The pandemic, of course, put kind of a pause on one of the years, but as you have found out, this was your first one. It's a great event, a real return on that investment of time and money that one makes to go travel across our nation along with 240 other leaders from our community, advocate for the issues that are important to our region. I always, before I left, I made sure to tell Mary Beth Sewell from the Vegas Chamber and Tina Quigley from the LVGA, congratulations on another event that keeps getting bigger and better. We also got to spend time again with some of our common friends, but shout out to Dave and Mon from Fingerprinting Express. We spent some time with them having some good laughs. And so tell us about your experience at this fly-in. What was good for you? Why are you going to go back next year? Because I know you told me you are. And why should others think about going back?
Yeah.
For the first time, I'm sorry.
Yeah, first of all, Mary Beth is amazing. She did an amazing job facilitating it. I've never been to an event that well organized, structured, never. That was literally unbelievable from start to end, like no hiccups. The great panelists. I learned a lot. Tina, I've been in that building at LVGA for 6 years, and Tina just came on board not that long ago. And, I just met Tina in DC, even though we're in the same building. But I thought that they did an amazing job. I honestly believe some of the connections I made in that room, I would never have made them. I would never have made the friendships nor the connections if I had not gone to that event. I thought that was one of the most powerful events I've ever gone to in my life. I honestly believe, like even flying back, like all the politicians or all the panelists, all the people that were on our plane, it was such an impactful conference that I learned so much. I thought I knew a lot of kind of what was going on, but I really learned a lot. But I tell you, the friendships I made would probably, I couldn't equate that to what we've learned over that week. And, you and I, we had some great conversations together, hanging out with Dave and Monica, but listening to some of the panelists to talks on water, talks on, on the market, talks on the conditions. It was just something that you wouldn't have heard anywhere else. And to be invited to something at that level was by far, hands down, the greatest event I've gone to.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And you're right. I mean, one of the first things that jumped out to me when I first went was, when else can you say that in a couple of days you had a chance to talk to both of your U.S. senators, 3 members of the U.S. Congress, your representatives, and countless leaders, like you said, presidents of universities and community colleges, and the superintendent of our school district, the 5th largest in our nation, and Tina and Mary Beth, and all the people that went. And again, like we talked about, sometimes it's also just about connecting meaningfully. Here we're always so busy in our work, in our office, and going back home and just sitting there. I remember it had been a long time since I'd had time to talk to Dave and Mon, and I was able to tell them that keep making those videos they post on Facebook because they're the funniest couple, you know. I told them, your videos make me laugh. And so I hope, Dave and Mon, if you're listening, make sure that you keep posting those videos. What would you tell them? I know that you said a lot about it already, but shortly, what would you tell any business here in Las Vegas that says, I'm going to think about that DC fly-in? What thought would you leave them with about next year's DC fly-in?
There's really nothing to think about. Like, show up and go. Like, Guy Martin said it the best. I watched the video from the chamber. He was like, where else can you get in front of decision makers, policy makers, you know, CEOs? Where can you do it except in this forum? There's not. I've never been a part of it until this. So Guy was absolutely right. Guy's absolutely right. If you really want a say, you need to show up because you can talk to literally anyone and anything. But Jaime, I got to give a big shout out to you because in that room, you are amazing. Like the connections you have, like you have senators, congressmen coming up to you for the stuff that you're doing here at Workforce Connection. You truly are changing lives in this community. And, you know, I seen it, you know, like Senator Horsford and everyone saying, you know, and Mary Beth and everyone coming up to you, seeing what you're doing. So we're very lucky to have you in our community and stuff that you guys are doing here. You know, I want to thank you.
Thank you, Derek. That means a lot to me. And, you know, I mentioned a few names already that are members of the Workforce Connections Board that find it important enough to be there. As you said, some organize the event. Mary Beth and Tina are members of our board. Superintendent Jara, President Saragosa from CSN, our chair, Jerry Merritt from Bank of Nevada, Guy Martin from Martin Harris Construction. And I know I'm going to forget one, so they're going to be mad at me, but those are all members of the Workforce Connections Board that find it, as you said, they don't think about it. They say, I got to be there for all the reasons you mentioned. And then we also had the chair of our local elected officials, which govern this agency, North Las Vegas, Councilman Scott Black. He's the chair of our Leo Consortium. And again, that's just, again, if those people can find time to go, as you said, I would leave them with the same thing. You got to sign up and go. You won't regret it.
You won't. You know, it's funny, is like with Guy Martin, we were on the plane going out together and coming back. So even at the airport when we were talking, it was like how important you and Guy are to any future business coming into this town. For you guys to have a seat at when LVGEA brings people in, you know, I didn't realize until Guy was telling this to me, right? But for what you guys are doing, for you from an employer and him from a building stance, like we can really make a difference. But when you guys are at that seat, I think this town and this state is lucky to have you two, especially present in a lot of these meetings. So I don't think people really understand how big it really is, but you guys are making a huge impact. So thank you. Again, you're doing amazing work here.
Thanks, Derek. And for any employer like you that is, again, trying to get connected with how they find talent, and when I mean talent, not just a worker today, but we're working again with the school district to make sure that the talent coming out of the school district and our community colleges and our universities match the needs of businesses. They can start just by going to our website, which is nvworkforceconnections.org. If you're an employer and you want to get involved with our industry sector partnerships, same thing. We have launched 5 already for 7 of our targeted industries that the LVGA puts out in their comprehensive economic development strategy. And pretty soon, in the first half of October, we'll be launching our last 2. So, Derek, as we end the end of this podcast, I want to kind of open up the floor back up to you to maybe leave us with any thoughts of what's happening, what do you want us to be aware of. This is your time to talk about anything you'd like to talk about.
You know, I just would encourage, on the fitness side, how important, exercise and how important fitness is for mental and physical health. You know it. I would leave you with this. I was watching this show on HBO and it was calling "If You're Not in the Orbit, Eat Breakfast," and it was with Betty White, Dick Van Dyke, and they said the secret to a long life is movement, is keep moving. And so that's really was a really inspiration to me to create what we've done, because our next big thing is like we really want to help seniors, and I think that we could help our population. But again, movement fitness is been a baby, and it's been a project, but it's also the biggest give back that we can do, is impactful. We have over 600 members, so we get to touch a lot of lives. but we want to grow and we want to help more people, and we're really looking to help seniors and really looking to help youth. Generally, we want to help everyone, but I think seniors are not being, they have a membership but don't know how to use it. Cancer, someone that comes down with cancer, the aftercare, the doctor says, go work, right? Go work out, go eat right, but they've never done it before. So we're just providing the nutrition, we're providing the exercise, and we're providing the game plan to get them back to a healthy lifestyle within 12 weeks. I only encourage people that come in to do the program and participate that they stay on and be a mentor to the next, either young woman or young man that comes through the facility, and that they get to mentor them to let them know it gets better. So I thank you for having me. I was really honored that you invited me on here, and we get to have this open conversation. But again, you're more of a hero to me than so I really appreciate you.
Well, I hope we made you proud, being that you were the inspiration to this podcast.
Yeah, I have a hard, sometimes I have a hard time taking some credit, but I really appreciate it. Thank you. It means a lot, and you have a great facility, great podcast, great people here, and you make it very easy to have a conversation. And that's what my podcast was all about, was bringing local business leaders or politicians or anyone to the table that wanted to say something about where we are, all in positive, manners, right? Like why we are here, why we exist, why do we run for office, or why are we a police captain, or why like I tell you, one of the best interviews we ever did was Frank from the original founder and CEO of Make-A-Wish. Phil Klavoric from the county set that up, and he came in. Frank had passed away, but he was one of the greatest interviews, an inspirational person, and he had me watch his movie. It's called Wishman, and after the podcast and watched that, that changed the way I looked at things too, in a positive light. And I'm just so grateful that I've had so many people, in my life over the last couple of years that, inspired me to do bigger and better things for this community.
Well, Derek, thank you for being someone who truly cares and demonstrated it with your actions. Your actions speak about how you care and everything you do. We're blessed to have you in this community. Thank you for being here today with us.
Thank you, Jaime.
So that's it for another episode of the WC Podcast. We hope to see you at the next one. Until then, stay safe. Hi, Derek, and thank you for staying for our bonus segment called Against the Wall.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
All right, we have three sections to this segment. Are you ready for the first one?
I am.
It's called Your Favorite. So give me your favorite food.
My favorite food is cheeseburgers.
Your favorite book.
Oh, God. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich.
Good one. Your favorite city to visit.
My favorite city to visit. Does it have to be in America?
No.
Medellin, Colombia.
Medellin, Colombia. Your favorite place to go with your family.
Mount Charleston.
Your favorite musical artist or group.
That would be like New Edition.
All right, old school, New Edition.
School, yeah.
Be careful with this one because we have friends here in this industry. Your favorite local sports team.
My favorite local sports team, obviously, Golden Knights.
All right, and your favorite holiday.
Favorite holiday would be Christmas.
Very good. Well, you made it past our first segment called Your Favorites. The second one is called Tough Choices. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Would you rather vacation or staycation?
I'd rather staycation.
Are you more of a night or morning person?
Morning person.
Would you rather sleep in on a Sunday or wake up early to have a hearty breakfast?
I would rather wake up and have a hearty breakfast.
You told this in the podcast, have breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Would you rather owe money or owe a favor?
Owe a favor.
Are you more of a city guy or countryside?
More of a city guy.
Football or baseball?
Football.
I didn't give you hockey there, huh? Dogs or cats?
Dog.
And here's a tough one. Justice or grace?
Justice or grace? Justice.
Action or words?
Action.
Very good. You made it past the second segment. Now, the last one is called Finish the Sentence. So I'm going to give you a sentence about 95%, and you're going to finish it for me. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Not many people know that Derek likes to...
God. I like to work out.
Very good. Derek's favorite way to relax is...
Open a book.
If Derek had a reality TV show about his life, the title of that show would be...
The Crazies.
The best part of living in Southern Nevada is...
The weather and the people.
I agree. 3 words that describe Derek are...
Fun, outrageous, and courageous.
I agree. And finally, doing the WC podcast here today with us was...
Amazing.
Great. Well, thank you for staying over for the segment, Derek.
Thank you, Jaime. Appreciate it.